Hey, let's talk about some things that have been bothering me with the cost of the United States versus Philippines. Hey guys, it's your boy Carl coming back at you. Listen, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking about rent, and he was telling me he got a basement apartment. I mean, it's tiny, tiny, and he's paying like 2,000 over, and I was saying to him, I'm like, the way the cost of living is going here, in probably 5 years, that apartment is probably going to be 3,000 to 3,500. Now, I don't know about you. I don't know about anybody else. But 2,000, even 2,000 is a lot of money to pay for an apartment. You know, they've basically raised the cost of houses here, that they're pricing people out from buying them. So when they're buying them and their mortgages are $6,000-$7,000 a month, I don't know that many people that could afford $6,000-$7,000 a month that are working on a regular job. You know, employers don't want to pay the money out. But they want you to work nonstop. You know, and I get it. You have to work to earn money. But when you're working and you're making crap, you know, you wonder why people don't have the enthusiasm to want to be with that company or companies anymore. Something has got to change, because I'm going to say within the next 10 years, it's going to be so expensive to rent an apartment that you're going to see this van life, as they're calling it. You're going to see people that it's going to be even more than what you see now. You know, I go to the gym. I haven't gone in a little bit because, to be honest, I have not been physically feeling right. But when I was going, there had to be 7-8 cars that people were living in that were parking in the gym, because, you know, you pay a $20 membership for basic member where you can go in and take a shower. You know, what do you need? You know, compared to paying $3,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment. You know, you're going and you're living in your car. You're paying your car insurance. You're paying for some foods. And the way, you know, they have all these... Oh, shit. Sorry, dropped my phone. The way they have all this new stuff for... the cars, where you can put solar panels on them. All these things that are new to make it easier to live in your car, from going from the big RVs, where the big RVs have solar panels, all this, and you can add it to your car. You know, maybe it's cheaper to live in your car. Yes, it might be uncomfortable to sleep, but they seem to be making, well, everything I'm looking at, there's more and more ways that people are doing it. So, my opinion, something's got to change. Either you change the price of housing, which legally there's no way of doing, because you're selling homes that are not valued that. Maybe the government needs to step in on that end and not step in on making places rent controlled. Because, something's got to get done. I work in the housing market, and I see from the title end these people that are refinancing homes, and it's like, wow, dude, $1.2 million home. And I'm looking and I'm like, holy crap, this is over where I live. I'm like, I remember when half them houses were built, they were $20,000 homes. And that was considered high. I'm like, so how the hell did $20,000 home get to $1.2 million? Yes, I know inflation, and I understand that, but no, it's not that way, because you're literally pricing out people. And I'll be honest, I'm going to tell you my personal opinion why. Because this country sucks in the way that it allows all these foreigners to come here and they buy the homes up, and they come in as mass groups to buy it, and they pay everything. I have a friend that lives in a town. They were built for affordable living. I know most people have heard of it because there's two towns that were built by the same guy. One in Long Island, New York, one in Pennsylvania, Levittown. And they were built for the veterans that were coming home from World War II to be affordable living. Now, you have these foreigners. Majority of them are Indians, not American Indians, but Indians from India, that are coming in as groups of people, buying the homes overpriced. Then they're tearing them down, and they're taking a one-story house and making it huge where there's no property on any side of the house. And then they're getting values of $1 million plus for a house that was a $15,000 home. That's like, yeah, okay, we'll go overextend. Yes, it'll go up, but should only be maybe a $250,000 home. So they're overpricing it. The government's allowing foreigners to come in and buy the land. I have a wife in the Philippines. We're married. Yes. I'm not like some of these guys, that's my wife. No, I am legally married. I have a marriage certificate in the Philippines. We are 100% legally married. And I can't buy property. She has to own it because they don't allow foreigners to buy land in the Philippines. My understanding of the rule is I can lease the land for 100 years, build a house on it. I will own the house, but I won't own the land. So at any time the owners of that land decide to take that land back, I lose the house. So let's just do an example. I lease land for 20 years in the Philippines. I build a house. 20 years come down the road, the owner of the land says, we're no longer leasing it. You need to get off. I lost the house. So yeah, technically, I own the dwelling, but I don't own the land that it sits on. So either, which I don't think they don't do over there, I either get somebody to lift the damn house up and move it to another parcel of land, or you just leave it there or demolish the thing. And that's what the United States needs to do. They need to stop giving all these rights to foreigners that are not even citizens of the United States. The rights, because they're outpricing it, because they're coming in as a group that pulled all their money together. They're buying the house. They're overbidding. Going back to Levittown, I had a co-worker that worked with me. She got married. They were moving, and her husband was selling the home they lived in. She told me that they started a bidding war on it. It was Indian people, and they were bidding it. They actually wound up paying something like $200,000 more than the house was appraised for. Yeah, it sounds great. It's good for you if you own the home, because you're getting $200,000 more than the house's value. But guess what? Everybody else that wants to buy the house just got screwed, because they're tearing it down. They're saying, well, it was a $300,000 home. We just paid $500,000. We're building it. Now it's $1 million home. I don't make the salary for $1 million. That's probably $6,000 a month easily in a mortgage. And that's the thing, which people don't realize. When you're paying a mortgage, add up. Actually, look at the what is it? They give you a list of payments per month, how much you're paying, and they break down the payments per month, how much is going to the principal, how much is going towards the interest. And if you look at the interest, we'll take an example. We'll say you're paying $2,000 a month. $300 might only be going towards the principal. The rest is going to pay interest, because in the long run, over 30 years, you've just paid for $1 million home 3 times that. So you just paid for $1 million home $3 million with all the interest costs. So, I don't know. Maybe Americans need to stop being stupid and start fighting with the government to say we need to change that, and change it with the banks and the interest rates that are being charged on properties and the taxes, because that's also what boosts the price up. And my big issue for making this is, people talk about, all these Americans are leaving the country because they're losers. They can't hang with all the freedom. It's not that they can't hang with the freedoms. They're leaving because you can't afford to live here. And you could go to a quote-unquote third world country, live there, and pay for rent, that is affordable. You're getting your retirement, $200 for a nice house. You don't even, when you go on Social Security, you don't get crap. And they expect you to live on that here. You can't afford it. I'm sorry. It's just a unforeseen future of what's coming on. You can't afford to live. So, guys, this is just my little rant about things, because I've had people say shit to me about, you're moving to a foreign country because you can't hang here. I'm like, dude, I do okay in salary. But even with the salary I make, I'm just surviving. You hear all these vloggers in the Philippines, well, if you come here with $1,200 a month or that, you're just surviving. But guess what? You're doing that here. And you're just surviving. $1,200 a month, depending on where you live. You're not just surviving in the Philippines. If you're spending, $500-$600 a month on a house, yeah, then maybe you are surviving. But there are cheaper equivalents of homes if you're more in a Philippine area compared to an area that's covered with more expats, because they do boost the thing up per skin tax. So, I'm done. I'm just done with this. It's about a 15-minute long video. I just want to say, hey, guys, thanks so much for all the new subscribers and people watching. I really do appreciate it. Thanks so much. And I'll see you guys soon. Please remember, like, subscribe, share, comment. Give me your opinion on housing in your area in the United States, Philippines, whatever. So until I see you guys again, I'll talk to you all later. Peace.